voluntary disqualification case against the Team Unity government, and government accepts recommendations from St. Kitts and Nevis National Marijuana Commission. Regionally, Election Commission in Guyana says it cannot hold elections by March. Internationally, Russia bans smartphones for soldiers over social media affairs. And in sports, Leeward's females prepare for Windies tournament. ANU defeats combined SKN team. We'll have the details of these and other stories after this message.
Another look.
Different from how you've seen it before.
Another look.
Takes an in-depth look into business, politics, science, technology, religion, and more.
Another look.
Featuring documentaries from the BBC, regional features, and local ones too.
Another look.
Every Monday at 3 p.m. on the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse, Vaughan.
Welcome back, and now on to the national news in detail. High Court Judge Justice Trevor Ward has dismissed the case brought against leader of the opposition in the National Assembly and leader of the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party, Dr. the Honourable Denzel Douglas. Justice Ward delivered a 1 hour and 50-minute judgment today in the case brought by the Team Unity government, which sought to have Dr. Douglas disqualified as a member of Parliament due to the fact that he had a diplomatic passport from the Commonwealth of Dominica. Dr. Douglas was represented by lead counsel Anthony Astafan Senior Counsel and supported by Sylvester Anthony, Angelina Soko and Delano Bath Queen Counsel. The government was represented by lead counsel Douglas Mendez Senior Counsel and supported by Taliba Byron, Michael Kwamina and McClure Taylor. The VOA Newsline spoke with counsel for Dr. Douglas, Sylvester Anthony.
Our position was always that Dr. Douglas had been issued a diplomatic passport as a personal courtesy by the Prime Minister of Dominica, and that we had taken the position, as have now been vindicated by the court, that the mere possession and travel on a diplomatic passport does not create a debt, as it were, of allegiance to the country who issued the apparent passport, the diplomatic passport, in this case, the Commonwealth of Dominica.
Meantime, the government has signaled its intention to appeal the matter. Here is Attorney General the Honourable Vincent Byron Jr. speaking in the National Assembly this afternoon.
We believe it should not be left to members of Parliament, whether on the opposition benches or for that matter on the government benches, to be able to obtain a passport from other countries in the region. One can well imagine what it would be like if we all were to get passports because we are friends with other political leaders in other islands in the OECS, and that we could have more than one passport traveling up and down. And we believe that that should not be, as it was, a reason for us to be able to obtain other passports, even if we do not become citizens of those countries. And so we would want to seek advice from Council and see if we can get an urgent appeal on this matter to be able to ventilate some of these matters and have a Superior Court have another look at this matter.
Attorney General the Honourable Vincent Byron Jr. The Team Unity administration has accepted more than a dozen recommendations presented by the St. Kitts and Nevis National Marijuana Commission in its final report to the Cabinet on the way forward for the use of marijuana in the country. The Commission's report was presented to the Office of the Prime Minister on January 10, 2019. This was followed by a meeting between Cabinet members and members of the Commission on Monday, February 18th in Nevis, where several of the recommendations were further deliberated upon. The accepted recommendations include an amendment to the Drugs Act, having regard to scientific developments since the act was passed in 1986, the use of cannabis and its derivatives for medicinal and scientific purposes permitted under license and a strict legislated regime, the penalty for possession of less than 15 grams of cannabis to be reduced to a ticketable offense without a criminal record. Penalty for the growth of less than 5 plants per household should be reduced to a ticketable offense without a criminal record, as well as the creation of a massive public messaging program prior to any changes in the law and continuing thereafter informing the public of the benefits and risks and the potential harm to young persons regarding the use of cannabis. Prime Minister Harris said his cabinet will consider and consult further on creating the framework for the use of cannabis for medicinal purposes and for the development of the medicinal cannabis industry in St. Kitts and Nevis. In more national news,
the payments for the Poverty Alleviation Program for February will be made on the 28th of February, that's a Thursday. Those monies will be going directly to the account numbers that had been given by the applicants as the source to which they require their $500 be paid.
Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris. The Prime Minister was at the time speaking during a sitting of the National Assembly this afternoon about the next disbursement of monies for persons who are registered under the Poverty Alleviation Program. In 2018, the Team Unity government announced and rolled out for the first time the Poverty Alleviation Program. The program is aimed at providing an additional $500 to households whose income is less than $3,000. Additionally, according to the Finance Minister, recommendation was made to approve fixed dates for the monthly payments.
Those who are yet to provide banking information or they prefer to hold their check in their hand, we still will accommodate you. And so on the 2nd of March 2019, those payments will take place at the Inland Revenue from 8:30 a.m. until 3:30 p.m. That is the same place you would have gone recently to collect on a Saturday. In Nevis, similar types of arrangements are to be put in place.
Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis plans to improve upon the infrastructural and human resource capital at the JNF General Hospital. That's according to Minister of State with Responsibility for Health, the Honorable Wendy Phipps. Back in 2003, the hospital was rebuilt with a Phase 3 of the project left unfinished, which constitutes back office operations including kitchen, mortuary and medical stores. Regarding the aforementioned, she noted that the back section constitutes the bulk of the old hospital and added that at present they are unable to demolish that section. Minister Phipps said that the Department of Public Works has been doing work on separating the lines before a partial demolition can be done this year. With respect to customer service at the hospital, improvement in customer service is part of an ongoing process, and the government has been engaged in a project with the European Union EU using 3 ministries as part of a pilot program that will address some of the human resource challenges that are currently being faced, the minister said. The operational documents that govern all facilities within the Early Childhood Development Unit ECDU sector here in St. Kitts and Nevis are being reviewed. The Ministry of Education, in collaboration with UNICEF, is hosting a consultative workshop to sensitize stakeholders and conduct a comprehensive review of the policy framework, minimum standards, and operational standards draft documents. The 3-day workshop began today and will end on Friday, 22nd February. According to Director of the ECDU, Ms. Rosalind Warner, she hinted that the changes made thus far to the documents will affect everyone in the sector, specifically those in administration. She said the changes are geared towards the standardization of the provision of early childhood care and education and will also assist in the establishing of the early childhood services as a professional and effective organization. Once finalized and implemented, the policy framework, minimum standards and operational standards documents will provide the framework for all child care providers and will offer the necessary guidelines for ensuring quality service in early childhood education. The Nevis Island Administration NIA, through the Nevis Disaster Management Department NDMD, has received a multi-million-dollar gift from the government and people of Japan to assist with disaster management. The gift, which is being delivered in tiers, includes 2 front-end loaders, 3 disaster management mini-storage units, rescue equipment, 1 drone, 2 SLR cameras, 1 dump truck and a pallet of spare parts, 1 rescue vehicle with snorkel and 3 pickup trucks. The second consignment is expected to arrive in April and will contain 24 fire suits, 1 set closed-circuit TV, 3 generator sets, 400 tarpaulins, 30 VHF handheld radios and accessories, 10 VHF vehicle mobile-based radios and accessories, and a medical vehicle. Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Mark Brantley, in the wake of this, expressed his gratitude to the donors for the gift. And lastly, in our national news segment, Think Equal, Build Smart, Innovate for Change. That's the theme for this year's observance of International Women's Day 2019. Nevis will join other jurisdictions across the world in celebration of the day on Friday, March 8th. The day will be observed with a number of activities throughout the month. According to coordinator of the Gender Affairs Division, Ms. Lorraine Archibald, the activities would concentrate on a number of areas relating to the advancement of women. The activities will begin with the launch of free self-defense classes targeting women on March 7th. The following day, March 8th, Junior Minister of Gender Affairs, the Honorable Hazel Brandy Williams, will deliver a speech to mark International Women's Day, and during that day, members of the public are asked to wear the color purple. An awards ceremony and cocktail ceremony will be held on the evening of March 8th. On March 10th, a church service will be held at the Shiloh Baptist Church in Ramsbury from 11 a.m. And that's our national news segment. You can visit our website at www.vonradio.com, or you can check us out on Facebook at Von Radio and our Von Radio YouTube channel. Regional news comes up next.
Home. It means something different to everyone. It's a place you love, a place as unique as you are, a place where you can be yourselves, a place for life's big surprises, and not to mention the small ones. Moments to cherish and moments that last a lifetime. It's a place for nurture and a place where you can grow together. It's home. So whether you're building, purchasing, or renovating, the Bank of Nevis is here to open the door, giving you the confidence to dream and the help you need to get there with a mortgage loan from the Bank of Nevis. The Bank of Nevis Limited, improving the quality of life.
Welcome back and now on to the regional news. The Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM, says it cannot hold elections by next month, the deadline by which polls should be conducted following the coalition government's loss of a no-confidence motion last December. The 7-member commission, comprised of 3 government-nominated commissioners, 3 commissioners nominated by the main opposition People's Progressive Party PPP, and the chairman, on Tuesday voted to formally advise that it cannot hold elections by March 19th. One of the 3 opposition-nominated commissioners abstained from the vote on that issue, while the other 2 voted against. Under the Constitution, elections should be held within 90 days after the passage of a no-confidence motion unless an extension is agreed to by at least 2/3 of the members in the National Assembly. However, GECOM said it does not have the necessary funding. Jamaica's Ministry of Health has placed the island on influenza alert in light of the significant increase in the number of cases of fever and respiratory illnesses reported across the island. Influenza, or the flu, is a highly contagious viral infection of the respiratory passages, causing fever, severe aching and catarrh, and often occurring in epidemics. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton said that data collected over the past 2 weeks indicate an increase in a particular type of influenza. Dr. Tufton said persons at greater risk of severe complications from the flu are infants and young children, adults 65 years and older, pregnant women, and persons with chronic medical conditions or weakened immune systems. The ministry will also expand the opening hours at health centers to provide access to at-risk populations, including the elderly and children under 5 years. Out of Dominica, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit has named 9 women, including his wife Melissa, in a virtual new slate of the candidates as the ruling Dominica Labour Party seeks to maintain power in the upcoming 2020 general election. Addressing the DLP Special Delegates Conference in Londonderry, northeast in Dominica, Skerrit dropped a number of senior ministers in his change team for these changing times. News from the BVI. Premier Dr. D. Orlando Smith said he feels no penitence as he concludes his nearly 2 decades of service in representational politics. Dr. Smith expressed those sentiments as he gave his final address to the territory Monday evening. According to BVInews.com, Premier Smith said as he demits office, he takes satisfaction in how much he has helped the local financial services and tourism industries to grow. He was quoted as saying, "I have no regrets, for I know in my heart that I gave all that I had to offer to this territory I love." Still in the BVI, in the rollout of the Virgin Island Party's VIP manifesto on Tuesday, Party Chairman Andrew Foy has promised to create 1,000 in his first 1,000 days if the VIP is elected as the next government of the Virgin Islands. Foy described his projection of 1,000 jobs as a minimum, adding that he is optimistic the VIP will achieve more given what he said were the party's bold policies and encouragement of small business development. He said the VIP is proposing a small business development program which he believes will create roughly 100 jobs within the first 3 years of its implementation. And lastly, in our regional news segment, February 7, 1974 will be forever etched in our memory as the birth of this independent nation. Those were the words of Grenada's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell as the country celebrated its 45th anniversary of independence. Independence Day in Grenada is celebrated annually on February 7th and is celebrated with parades and ceremonies to commemorate the country's independence from the United Kingdom in 1974. The Grenadian leader described the nation's 45th anniversary of independence as a significant milestone, noting that the country has attained an age of maturity, having experienced periods of turbulence, and is now well poised for the future. The Prime Minister noted that the education of the nation's children is critical to securing the country's future and pointed out that the many academic successes already recorded came about through the collaborative efforts of the parents, teachers and other education officials and the enabling environment created by the government. And that's it for our regional news segment. Stay with us for news around the world. Welcome back and now on to the international news. Russia's parliament has voted to ban soldiers from using smartphones while on duty after their social media use raised issues of national security. The bill forbids military personnel from using a phone with the ability to take pictures, record videos and access the internet. Soldiers also cannot write about the military or talk to journalists. More than 450 lawmakers in Russia's lower house of parliament, the Duma, backed the law on Tuesday. Phones with basic calling and messaging facilities could still be used, but tablets and laptops would also subject to the new ban. Russian officials said the move was necessary to protect military information from foreign intelligence services. The winning ticket was sold in Riley's Daybreak in North County Dublin, and the family which won the lottery money rather. They released a statement on the win, have so far chosen to remain anonymous. A family syndicate from Dublin has come forward to claim Tuesday's Euro Millions jackpot, and it was worth more than 175 million euros. It is the biggest jackpot claimed by an Irish ticket holder in its history. The ticket was bought at Riley's Daybreak in the village. A former high-ranking Chinese general has been sentenced to life in jail for corruption, state media reports. Fang Fenghui, ex-chief of Joint Staff of the People's Liberation Army, was found guilty of bribery and having huge wealth that he had been unable to account for, according to Xinhua. The 67-year-old accompanied President Xi Jinping in his first meeting with US President Donald Trump in 2017. Many officials are being jailed in what Mr. Xi says is an anti-corruption drive. The efforts have had a particular focus on the country's military, which is the world's largest and is undergoing a modernization campaign. Fang Fenghui lost his post with no explanation in 2017 and disappeared from public view. The government later confirmed he was under investigation for alleged corruption. And the coalition of 16 U.S. states led by California is suing President Donald Trump's administration over his decision to declare an emergency to raise funds for a Mexican border wall. Mr. Trump made the declaration on Friday to bypass Congress after it refused to approve $5.7 billion for the wall. The states say they want to block his misuse of presidential power. The lawsuit filed on Monday seeks to stop Mr. Trump acting on his emergency declaration to build the wall, saying the president does not have the power to divert funds approved by Congress to pay for it for his project. And that brings us to the end of our news segment. The latest in sports is next.
Yes?
You know when I call you, there's something happening at TDC, right?
Tell me quick.
The TDC Home and Building Depots are showing us love in February. All month long, they're promoting their heart-healthy products. This includes gym equipment, juicers, blenders, yoga mats, and so on. Plus, every Saturday, you can get your free in-store heart-healthy checks done.
Really, girl?
Yes, and Keep Fit every Tuesday afternoon during their Heart Healthy series at the TDC Clubhouse on the Frigate Bay Road. Culturama, body in progress.
Well, I don't want to miss out, so we must go by TDC Home and Building Depot this month.
Welcome back and now on to the sports. In cricket, the top female cricketers from the Leeward Islands engaged in a 3-match series in St. Kitts in preparation for the upcoming West Indies Regional Women's Cricket Tournament that has been brought forward to commence in March. The Antigua and Barbuda team engaged the combined St. Kitts and Nevis team in a 3-match series. The results of the matches are as follows. Match 1. St. Kitts and Nevis won 27 for 7 from 26 overs. Thelma Gomes 31, Sherma Jackson 2 for 21. ANU won 28 for 3 from 21.1 overs. Jamela McClure 47, Amanda Edwards 32, Melissa Clark 2 for 28. ANU won by 7 wickets. In match 2, ANU 82 for 9 in 20 overs. Eldora Sylvester 18. Roselle Liebert 2 for 15, Alyssa Claxton 2 for 19, Sanelda Willett 2 for 9. St. Kitts and Nevis 83 for 4 in 19.3 overs, Melissa Clark 22 not out, Tonya Martin 2 for 13. St. Kitts and Nevis won by 6 wickets. And in match 3, ANU 182 for 9 from 24 overs. Shawnisha Hector 25, Therese Parker 25, Eldora Sylvester 22. St. Kitts and Nevis 109 for 4 in 24 overs. Jasmine Clark 26, Sanelda Willett 23. ANU won by 73 runs. In local sports, the Ivor Waters Primary School held its annual road relays on Friday, February 19th, and the results are as follows. Junior girls first was Red House, senior in second place Gold House, and in third place Greenhouse. Junior boys in first place was Greenhouse, second place Red House, and third place Gold House. In the senior girls, first place was Greenhouse, second place was Red House, and third place was Gold House. In the senior boys, first place was Greenhouse, second place was Red House, and third place was Gold House. Still in local sports, on Friday, February 15th, the St. Thomas's Primary School held its annual cross-country races. The final heats points were as follows. First, Green Sparrows with 688 points. Second, Orange Eagles 674 points. And third, Blue Hawks with 639 points. In athletics, Jamaican runner Kemoy Campbell could be released from hospital within the next week after collapsing during the 3,000 meters at the Millrose Games in New York. Campbell, 28, was acting as a pace setter when he collapsed around the 1,000 meter mark on February 9th. He was in a critical yet stable condition, but was taken off sedation last Monday and has been able to communicate and walk in hospital. The Jamaican has since left the intensive care unit. Gymnast Simone Biles and tennis player Novak Djokovic won the top prizes at the 2019 Laureus World Sports Awards. American Biles, 21, was named Sportswoman of the Year after winning 4 gold medals, 1 silver and 1 bronze at the 2018 World Championships. Serb Djokovic, 31, won the Sportsman of the Year award after claiming victory at both the US Open and Wimbledon. Japan's Osaka won her first Grand Slam title at the US Open last year, then won the Australian Open last month, and she was also part of the awards. It was also part of those who received awards. Finally, in our sports segment in tennis, 20-time Grand Slam champion Roger Federer will play his first clay court tournament in 3 years at the Madrid Open in May. The Swiss has not played on clay since the 2016 Italian Open, and his last French Open appearance was in 2015. The Madrid Open starts on May 3rd, with the French Open starting on May 26th. And that's it for sports. The weather is next. Welcome back. The weather tonight will continue to be partly cloudy with a 20% chance of a brief passing shower. The weather tomorrow will be partly sunny and breezy with a slight chance of a brief passing shower. The winds are east-northeast with speeds ranging between 12 and 18 knots with lighter spells over coastal waters and elevated terrain. The seas are 1.5 to 2.1 meters. Small craft operators should exercise caution for seas are marginally safe for your operations. The sunrise tomorrow will be at 6:34 a.m. And that's how we wrap up the major news package for today, Wednesday, 20th February 2019. Before we go, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Nationally, Dr. Douglas wins parliamentary disqualification case against the Team Unity government, and government accepts recommendations from St. Kitts and Nevis' National Marijuana Commission. Regionally, Election Commission in Guyana says it cannot hold elections by March. Internationally, Russia bans smartphones for soldiers over social media fears. And in sports, Leeward's females prepare for Windies tournament. ANU defeats combined St. Kitts and Nevis team. On behalf of the rest of the news team, I am Jarvis Brown wishing you a pleasant evening.